That's right, blackjack, the most popular game in the world, popular card game anyway. And today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make these poker chips and how to texture them using the free software GIMP so that you too can become a virtual high roller. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Anthony, also known as Cross, and let's get right into this. So we're going to get rid of that. Actually, you know what? We're just going to open a new one. Discard those changes because I don't really need them. We're going to delete the default cube. Get rid of that. Shift A, mesh, cylinder. I'm going to be going kind of fast here, so don't lag behind. And if not, just slow down the video. All right. Before you do anything, after you make this cylinder, click over here. Change this to 16 instead of 32. All right. Now we're going to go into edit mode, scale this on the Z axis. You do that by hitting S and then Z. And we're going to position this in kind of a way where it's in between these two lines here. So SZ again. Boom. That looks pretty good. I like that for the thickness of the poker chip. So we're going to do that. Excuse me. Then we're going to start to create the faces and the geometry in order to have that circle of red as well as the little notches of red, and then eventually we're going to have the 100 in here. So what you want to do is you don't want to have the side selected. Go to face select mode, select the top and bottom faces, and then in edit mode you want to hit I for inset. And I'm going to hit 7 to go into the top view here, and we're going to hit that, and then I'm going to position that in a way that looks kind of good for the size, and I think that should do it. All right, then repeat the process, and then one more time. Approximately the same size for each one. Okay, now that we have that, we can go ahead and unwrap this, and what that is that's just taking all of the faces and putting them on a 2D image so that we can texture it. So what you want to do is you want to hit A to select all, and then hit U and click unwrap. Blender is pretty good about unwrapping simple objects like cubes, cylinders, and that kind of thing. If you have a more complex object like a character, you're going to want to create seams and do it that way, but that's for a more advanced lesson later on. Anyway, after we've done that, go to the UV editing, and you'll see that we have all of our UV right here. What I'm going to do, in order to just shrink these, is I'm going to, still in face select mode, deselect everything, hit hold Alt, and click near this edge. It'll select the entire outside. Then come over to this window, click and drag, and we're just going to hit S to scale that down, shrink it, G to grab it, move it out of the way, because we don't actually need it. Then hit A in this window to select all, and then box, or not box, but click and drag here. Make sure you have all the vertices selected. This is the back side, this is the front side. We're going to select the back side and just move it out of the way temporarily. And how you can tell if it's the back side or the front side is by, this is the front side of the chip, right? So you just select the face and you see it pop up over here. And then when you select all, you see that this is that same face. If you do it on the back, you see it pop up over here. So that's how you can tell that. Anyway, hit select all again, and then we're going to deselect that by just clicking somewhere. Grab this one, G to grab it, move it here in the middle, and we're going to scale it up just to take up more of the UV space. Okay. Now, in order to get this image into GIMP, this is what you're going to want to do. Once you've gotten to this stage, hit UV, export UV layout. I'm just going to put mine right on the desktop. I'm just going to title it UV and export that. Now, for now, we are done in Blender. Open up GIMP, and I already had mine open just because it takes a while to open on my computer. File, open, desktop, UV. And here we go. I'm going to increase the zoom to 100 just so I can see everything a little better. And what you want to do is create a new layer. You want it to be white background. And this is going to be our detail layer. Now, with this layer selected, go ahead and hide it so that we can still work with this. And then grab the circle tool and create a circle. If you hold shift while you're doing it, it will keep the aspect ratio of the circle the same. I'm going to create a circle and then move it. Oop. Why is it not doing that? Oh, okay. I see what happened. All right. Before you click anything else, you want to move the circle. So with the circle tool still selected, then you want to move that into position. Okay. Then we're going to click the fill tool. I'm making mine red as it was in the beginning of the video. You can make yours whatever color you want. I'm just making mine pure red, and I'm going to fill that circle. Since this layer is hidden, it's not going to look like anything happened, but if you check the eyeball again, you're going to see that that's there. So now what you want to do is grab this tool, the move tool, hit Control C to copy the selection, Control V to paste it, and then we're just going to move it into position into every other face that the circles need to go. Just keep hitting Control V and then moving it, and if you're not sure if it's working, just uncheck that. You'll see that we have all the circles. So just keep doing that. And the reason we're doing every one of them and not skipping a face is because the back side of the UV is actually going to be reversed. So if we were to skip each face, then it would blend in with the actual red color of the poker chip, and we wouldn't see the dots on the back side of it. And because we want to see that, we're just making sure in order to put it in every notch. That way it'll show up on both sides. You just keep doing that all the way around until we're done. Just Control V all the way around. And now you'll see that we have the entire circle of circles. Now we're going to add the 100 text. So deselect that again, or hide it, whatever. Click the text tool. Text, type in 100 or whatever you want the value of your chip to be. I'm going to increase the size because I know that it's approximately what I want to 300. Bring this up like that. We're going to move it to position it. And that's not the text that I want, so we're going to select it all. Come over here. The one that I used last time, I think, was actually, you know what? I'm not even going to lie. I don't remember. So we're just going to click. Oh, yeah, there it is. Impact. Okay, so we're going to do that. Bring that to about where it looks like it's in the middle. I'm using these points here and the distance between this one and the sides to kind of gauge if it's in the middle or not. You know, it's just a rough guesstimation, but try to get it as close to the middle as you can. Good. Now, we see that we have the circles and the 100. So what you want to do is show this so that you see it with the white, because we don't want to bring this back into Blender. So click that. It'll have like this. File, export as. We're going to name this texture because it is the finished texture. I'm going to export that also to the desktop just so I can easily find it. Export, default settings are fine. And now we are done in GIMP. So now what you want to do is with the UV layout or the UV editing window still open, you want to come over here, open, go to the desktop, UV. Wait a minute, that's not right. I'm sorry. Yeah, not the UV, the texture. Yeah, there we go. Okay, much better. Now, if you go into the rendered view by holding Z and then going up to rendered, you won't actually see anything. That's because we haven't made the material for it yet. And I'm actually going to change this back to Eevee just to make it a little easier to work with. But yeah, you'll see that in this object, we don't have the material set up, so it's not actually showing up. Just go to the material tab down here, new material, texture, or whatever you want to call it. Go to here where it says base color, click on the circle, image texture, image texture, open, and again, the desktop or wherever you saved yours, texture. And now we can see that that has shown up. And if we go into the edit mode, we can see that those are all there. Obviously, we don't want the circles all the way around, but we're about to fix that. So in edit mode, I'm actually going to take this entire thing so I can pan around it a little easier. Rotate it on the X 90 degrees, so now I can just flip back and forth. Don't worry about this. This is just because we have the UV over here. We're going to fix that in just a moment. But what you want to do is new material, and I'm just going to name this one red, and make the base color red. All the way up, all the way down, all the way down. And now, with face select mode, we're going to select the faces that we need to be solid red. Okay, select those, all of those. And since we want that strip too, we're going to hold Shift and Alt, select that one there, Shift Alt, select that one there. And then you want to click on the red texture, click Assign, and ta-da! Now, we're about to fix this, so don't worry, but we see that the front is exactly how we wanted it. Circles are a bit larger than the one in the beginning, so if you want those to be smaller, just change that in GIMP. But yeah, so that's the front side done. Now what we want to do is go back into edit mode, and now we want to select everything. Select everything here, and then we want to select this one. Now when you bring it over, you're going to notice that once you position it in the middle, the numbers are backwards. So what we're going to do is first we're going to scale it to be about the right size, and if you press S to scale and then hold Shift, it'll let you kind of fine tune the movement. That seems to be approximately correct. Good. Alright, so now that it's reversed, what you want to do is in this window, hovering over this window, you want to hit scale, so S, Y, and then type in -1. And that will flip it upside down, but then if it actually is flipped, it will read correctly. So it won't be the exact same as the other side. It'll be like, you know what I mean. As it turns, it'll be oriented correctly, but if you were to just turn it this way, it'll look upside down. But that is that there. So now, like I was saying, if you were to rotate this on the x-axis, it reads 100 correctly on both sides. One last thing, I'm going to rotate this. You'll notice that the material is kind of shiny. So what you want to do for both materials here is come down. Poker chips are usually made out of like a clay texture, so they have a little bit of shine, but it's not like this crazy. I actually don't like it to have any shine just because that's the style that I like. So come down here, increase the roughness. You'll see it kind of become more of like a matte color. And then do the same thing for the red. And bada boom. There is our finished poker chip, both sides. And then if you want, you can position it to kind of stacks of chips like in the image that I showed you guys in the beginning, and make it seem like you have all the monies in all the land. Also too, if you wanted these to be any other color than text, you could change this to a $500 chip, make all these colored blue, and have different variety and that kind of thing. Again, all done in GIMP. And then you just bring the image into Blender, change the little notches here, so change this color to blue or whatever, change the notches to whatever color you wanted, and then you will be good to go. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this tutorial. Very beginner friendly, like I said, just kind of introducing you to texturing. You're making sure that you know kind of like the basics. This can get a lot more complicated. You can hand paint textures, you can get photorealistic material textures and put those on things. Maybe I'll do like a wood plank tutorial or something, highlighting both of those later on in the future. But for the time being, if you guys liked the video, go ahead and drop a like, help other people to find it. And as always, do the thing, hit the subscribe button, and then check that little bell notification if you want to be notified whenever I release a future video. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next tutorial. Bye-bye.